Hey, what is going on? If you're returning, I missed you. Welcome back. And if you're new, I'm LuminousRah. I discuss all things femininity, relationships, self-help, healing, spirituality, you name it. Okay, we talk about everything that's going to put us in position to be exactly where we want to be in life, right? So, if you haven't noticed, I have braids. Your girl has braids. Yes, honey. I'm loving it. Typically, I have not said this out loud, but typically when I get braids, it's because I'm going out of town. So we just came back from Mexico. You guys are going to see that really soon. And I decided to just go ahead and rock with braids because we were doing water activities. And I didn't want to mess up my natural hair. I didn't want to tug, pull, style, or do anything. So I just went on ahead and did my braids. It took me a long time to do. I want to say 3 official days of braiding, but the preparation and everything, it just took a long time. And it was driving me a little bit crazy because I was a little bit nervous. I'd never done braids this small, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get it done in time for my birthday. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it done properly to look exactly how I wanted to look on vacation. So I was a little stressed out. I think that started the whole topic at hand, that I am not comfortable when I'm uncomfortable or when I'm not certain or when I'm insecure. And it's not often that I feel insecure. So to experience it, it's a very overwhelming, uncomfortable feeling, right? But it's just one of those things where no matter how secure you are, there's always a moment in life that humbles you. And for me, like I said, it's a really rare, unusual feeling. It's rare that I feel insecure, unsure, unsteady, because I usually just throw myself in situations where I either know what I'm doing or I simply just don't care. But this time was definitely different. I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but here it goes. I felt really uncomfortable going to the spa. Not because it was a spa, because I've been to plenty. I've even experienced the spa all over the world. But this one, downtown Chicago, ridiculously expensive. And for some reason, it just made me uneasy. It's really not like me. It was like anxiety on top of anxiety. Like, girl, you're uncomfortable in a way that you typically have not been before, if ever. And it felt tied to something deeper, like imposter syndrome. Like, I know I'm supposed to be here. I was led here, but it feels so foreign. Every birthday season, the spa is always top of my list. It's always something that I throw into the mix that I want to do. So this has been going on for years that I've been wanting to go to a spa, but something always stops me because maybe I can't find the right spa. It might be money, time, or maybe I talk myself out of it because of a little guilt. This time though, I followed through. Last minute, I found the spot, I booked the reservation, and I showed up. But even then, when everything was set in stone and I was forcing myself to go through with this practice, I still sabotaged myself. I was late. I was nowhere near done with my hair, trying to calm 2 different versions of me down because there was like a full-blown battle in my head. One saying, just go, don't worry about it, it's okay. And the other one screaming, you need to be on time, hurry up, get out of there. You need to be early, hurry up. You need to be perfect, get everything done. Don't mess this up. So naturally, by the time I got there, I was a mess. Tense, barely breathing, trying to convince myself to relax. Like, it's just a spa. You've done this before. But it wasn't just the spa. It was this new environment, this new energy, and it felt like a test. Raise your hand if you have experienced PTSD whenever you get a slight inkling that you're about to walk into a life lesson or a test to make sure that you learned everything that you needed to learn from a past situation or issue. I think we're going to be in Venus retrograde pretty soon. I'm not an astrologer, but I've just been hearing through the grapevine, and it seems like it's going to be a bumpy ride. So when this video actually posts, you guys might already be going through something or have experienced something during the shadow period. So let me know in the comments if you've been going through something and you're like, oh my goodness, this kind of feels like a test. Or did I fail that life lesson? Was I supposed to do that? Was that in the script? You know what I mean? So let me know so I can check the temperature on exactly what is going on. But because it was new energy and I was feeling all of this stuff in this moment, it took forever to settle in. I realized I was telling myself, suck it up, get over it. Like I used to tell my son when he was uncomfortable. But I realized I couldn't treat myself like that. Not this time, not anymore. I had to be gentle. I had to allow myself to feel what I was feeling without rushing it. And when I finally did relax, it was like this weight was lifted. I connected with the people there, even though they felt like they were on a different wavelength. Not necessarily that they were completely different people, but maybe the simple fact that I was surrounded around wealth and maybe they deal with people in wealth, maybe that was what I was picking up. But everything on the surface seemed fine. Everything under the surface felt like it was shifting something within me, like I was stepping into something bigger, something that I couldn't ignore. So just know that when you're in these situations, you don't look the way you feel on the inside. I mean, if you get really self-conscious about it, then maybe it is reflecting on the outside. If you're doing a lot to try to force yourself to calm down, it may look like you're uncomfortable. You may be sending some physical signals that you're not doing so well. But I noticed that in having the discussion with the lady that did my massage, she told me her age. She was, I believe, in her mid to upper 50s. She did not look like it. Sister girl looked good, okay? And the way she was giving me the perfect amount of pressure in my massage, honey, I could not tell that lady was anything more than 40, okay? But as she opened up and got me to open up, I realized that she was sharing something with me that was almost a direct reflection of how I felt in those moments leading up to my massage. She shared with me that she can't wait to retire because she's going to start traveling, and traveling is not something that she's ever been able to do for all of the reasons that I have not gone to this super expensive luxury spa. And if you guys are curious about what the spa looks like, I recently uploaded a video Monday of my experience, and I kind of go in depth and vulnerability of sharing exactly how I felt going to the spa. But this is more of a sit down. I wanted to still give you guys something where we can chat, right? Yeah, she was a little nervous, but also excited and kind of insecure about being able to travel long distances to places outside of the US. And one of her baby step travels was going to be to Washington, I believe she said. And just experiencing her sharing that with me, how she shared that with me, the fact that she was so open and vulnerable. I believe she even told me she was a Cancer, and I was like, oh, okay. I really like Cancer women, you know. But just to feel that sort of adolescent, innocent, childlike fear in a woman that has probably seen more in her lifetime than I have. But because I'm so well traveled, I was able to give her some reassurance and make her feel comfortable. And she was able to make me feel comfortable, not even knowing that I was apprehensive and I was nervous. I felt out of place. I was insecure. So it's like the divine will always send you somebody that feels the way you feel. So, you know, I don't necessarily know how you all view me and how you take me in, but I can say that if you ever feel like I'm really secure, in the times that you guys see me, maybe I am, but sometimes I'm stumbling over my words and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to show up in this space, because even YouTube is really new for me. So I'd say that this has been the year, and last year have been years of groundbreaking enlightenment of self. And you guys are watching me actively go through this process with you. So I hope that you're able to take something from this experience of not always knowing how to show up, where to go, and what to say, because I don't always know the right words. And luckily for you guys that do enjoy my content and you are sitting here with me, always showing up and being a part of my community as I grow and evolve and kind of figure out where my lane is and if I even have one. You guys are here with me watching the growth, watching me figure it out. So I would really love it to be a testament for you to step out of your comfort zone a little bit more, especially if you're in a space where you feel like you can't. I know that it's so weird because everybody is in this space where they feel like they're too young or they're inexperienced or they're too old or, life has passed them by. There's no way that they can go back to school. Does it even make sense to go back to school? Everybody is saying this and it's deterring them from that. But I would love to tell you right now, if you feel that pull, if you feel that you're following some breadcrumbs, you should definitely check it out and see exactly what that is for you. It's not that going to the spa broke the bank. It's the fact that I'm so used to holding on tight to money, to making the right decisions, because I've experienced being uprooted from comfortability. I've experienced having everything and being well off to having absolutely nothing, literally the very next year. I experienced those things at a very young age. So for me to open up and say, hey, I deserve this, and this is something that I don't even know if I can say I can't afford, because that's money that I can put towards something else. I want a brand new camera. I want better lighting. I want to take classes. I want to go back to school. I want to handle certain debts so that I have a peace of mind. I want to invest in our kids. I want to send them to a summer camp that they want to go to. There's so many other things that I could have done with the money. And being a mother and being in a position where there's so many other things that I could do for my kid or for our kids, and, constantly having this nagging feeling or this nagging voice that I can put myself, not that I can, that I have to put myself on a back burner in order to be a good mother, because what is my karma going to look like? And, you guys, I will say it, but I'm not going to say that it's my experience anymore. But what are other people going to say about my parenting skills? What are other people going to say about me being a mother? And it's really a different type of bullying for a woman, because it's both men and women that will bully you. It's old and young that will bully you if they deem that you're not a good parent. At this age, I'm so happy that I was able to, repent and say what my perceived self sins are. God let me down the path to do that a long time ago. And to be able to step in my power and say, I really don't give a shit what you think. I don't care. Because what you think is not going to make my situation better. It's not going to put me in the right mind frame to be able to say, I can show up as my best self for my son. I have to mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically be at my best to be able to show up my best for my child, because children are not a level in a game. They are not predictable. Having a child and being a parent and being responsible for someone else is not an easy feat. And sometimes when you think you're doing the best for your child, you're really hindering your child. You're emotionally destroying your child. You are doing something that is going to be a core memory for them that they're going to blame you for, or maybe not look at you the way you think they'll perceive you. The best way to know what and how and when to give the best to your children or your child is to have a clear heart space, to have a clear mind, to be solemn and sound in your emotional body. When we draw it back to my experience of me taking myself to the spa for my birthday, that's what that did for me. That put me in a really good mindset. I slept so good that night. Okay. I know this is a little bit off task and I'm off my notes right now. I'm just yapping at this point. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the yap session, but I slept so good. I slept better than I slept in years. I did not know that a heated stone massage oil thing treatment and a facial was going to do that to me, but it was the best experience I could have ever experienced. When I think about my journey back home after, I found myself walking downtown Chicago and reflecting on what my life would have been like had I not had children, had I not had a fiance, had I just been a single woman in her mid 30s. Like, this is a landmark for me, you guys, because I am an age where I feel like I should be a lot more mature, or my life should look different, because if I remember my mom in her 30s when she was mid 30, I felt like she was in a different place than I am. I feel like she had a lot more together, if I could say, you know what I mean? And just trying to figure out what 35 looks like to me, what it looks like on me, what it looks like for me. I'm just in a spot and I'm trying to figure it out. And I think that that was the most truthful, vulnerable title that I could have put in the beginning of the video that shows you my journey through the spa. I'm just trying to figure it out like everybody else. And I think that's like the most relatable thing that you can possibly say, because if I thought about being single, not only did I think about it, I put myself in position to feel it if I were walking home that night to my condo or to my home. And I thought I would probably go home, eat some ice cream, and reflect on how I'm probably never going to find my partner and find a way to be comfortable with never having kids. I would probably make my life pretty absolute at that point. And I could just feel that energy of where I would have been had I not had kids, not really knowing the variables or the possibilities of where I would be in life. But I just know that I would probably feel, I guess, alone, but not necessarily lonely. I enjoy my own space. I enjoy spending time with myself. But I think that I would still have that thought, where would I would have been if I was married with kids right now, or maybe had a kid, the possibilities of what could have happened in the past. I think I would have had that reflection, but I realized that I have to be grateful for where I am now. But let's get back on task, okay? So even sharing all of that with you, this whole experience felt like a turning point. Like I was on the edge of something huge, of this life timeline with success, happiness. I don't even really know what exactly, but I just felt like I was on the brink of something bigger. And even though I'm really excited for what that may be, it's really scary because it's so close. Yet there's so much resistance within myself that I know that I have to iron out. Part of me wants to push through and force myself to adapt much faster, but another part knows I need to take my time to let myself stumble and figure it out. And then there's another part of me that's just overwhelmed. I think at this point, if there was an award of stressing yourself the hell out, I would probably win it, because this is feeling so unnecessary, but it's so strong. I don't even know how to explain it, but the anxiety is piercing. But through all of it, I know to breathe, take my time, take it easy on myself, and just try to balance it all out. My visions, my goals, my responsibilities, and take it easy on myself while I figure all of that out. And in these moments, it gets real. You have to start looking at what is really happening. I had to be real with myself and tell myself, baby, you've been holding yourself back. I've been stuck in a lot of old patterns. I've been stuck in what is comfortability. And no matter how good life is and how comfortable you are, if you know that you have a purpose and you feel the tug to that purpose, for some reason, comfortability feels agonizing at some point. And with that comes a side of self-doubt and a lot of guilt because you know that you're staying stagnant because of your patterns and behaviors. And every time that you try to get out of it, you realize you sabotage yourself and you go back into those old habits and comfortability that's not really comfortable. Sound familiar? And if you're really self-aware like me, you're going to keep asking why until you get down to the nitty-gritty of the answer. I had to ask myself, why do I feel so much guilt treating myself? Why do I feel like I don't deserve this? It's like those childhood lessons about, oh, there's kids on the other side of the world that are starving that can't eat and you don't want to finish your dinner. You better finish your dinner. Those guilt trips still echo in the back of my mind, but now that I'm an adult, it's echoing about different things. You know what I mean? Keeping me from doing what I want to do. Oh, you better not spend all of that money on the spa. You don't know what's going to come around the corner. You got kids. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. You better not. I can't live like that anymore. I have to break free. I'm choosing to break free. I can't act like I have everything together and everything is copacetic when my mind is going crazy, because there's a part of my spirit that really wants to just find out where I'm being led to. And then there's an analytic aspect of me that is hell-bent on holding me back. I can't do that anymore. And neither should you. I can't always try to find the answers all the time. Sometimes I just have to live in uncertainty and be comfortable in that until it's my time to figure out what the answer is. But going out of my way to try to figure things out that's all in God's hands, I'm out of body and I'm not in my lane. And I think that I need to get back in my lane. I need to be able to be okay with stumbling and getting back up, because that within itself is liberating. I have to free myself from myself before I can free myself from any other injustices in the world. So this self B-Day, spa day wasn't just about luxury. It was about growth. Isn't everything? It showed me how far I've come and how much further I can go. Now, to be honest, this shit is scary, but I'm craving more. Like, I'm going to go ahead and start putting myself out there. I want to push myself even further outside of my comfort zone to follow the breadcrumbs that the universe is leaving for me. The path feels different. It's not the usual struggle or the usual chaos. It's scary, but it's also exciting. Hey, gotta live for the thrill, baby. But for the first time, I'm not waiting for someone else to encourage me to do the thing, to push me to my dreams and my destinations. I'm not sitting in a dark room on a couch talking to a friend, sipping wine, daydreaming about what my life could be. I'm determined to make my life be whatever I want to make it. I'm just going to say, fuck it. I'm doing it. And that's huge for me, especially for where I am in my life. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but it feels like I'm stepping into a new version of myself. It's messy, it's overwhelming, but it's also beautiful. And I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep walking this path, even if it's scary, even if it's uncomfortable, because I know it's leading me somewhere incredible. And honestly, I think for the first time, I'm ready for it. Thank you so much for sitting here and sharing your time with me. That's my time. I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, and a little bit of spice. Mwah.